Hi everybody, my name is Natalia Kononova and I'm a designer at outstandingcrochet.com. In this video, I would like to explain to you how to read my embossed crochet patterns charts. Embossed crochet patterns usually do not have written instructions. They are solely based on charts, but I wanted to bring this kind of crochet to a wider audience, and for that purpose I had to simplify traditional symbols and abbreviations to be able to write those patterns. Otherwise, they would be very long and complicated. This chart you have been looking at is created for an embossed crochet patterns made in rounds and only on the right side. This little gap here just left to visually separate front from the back, but when you make this pattern, there is no gap here. You just, after this stitch, you make this stitch and so on for every round. This crochet chart is read from the bottom up and from right to left. Numbers here are marking beginning of the round and number of the round, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this F marks the foundation. So let's talk a little bit about symbols and abbreviations. This symbol here represents chain stitch, and the same symbol but shaded represents foundation cord stitch. There is no traditional symbol for foundation cord stitch, so I just came up with shaded chain. And these stitches, the foundation cord stitch, can be replaced by chain foundation. This little dot here is slip stitch, and this is half double crochet. Now let me show you double crochet. This is a symbol for double crochet stitch. This one line here tells us that this is double crochet, that we make yarn over just one time. If there were two lines, that would be treble, so yarn over 2 times. And this is American crochet terminology. And 3 lines would mean that this is double treble, so we make yarn over 3 times. Now let's move to embossed crochet stitches. This is back post double crochet. Looks like double crochet but has this little hook at the bottom which faces right, and this is back post double crochet. And front post double crochet, the same stitch but the hook at the bottom faces left, so this is front post. I replaced back post with that skinny stick and front post with bald stick. This stitch is 2 front post increase, so 2 front post stitches in 1 stitch connected at the bottom. This one you can guess 2 front post stitches together, and the same for back post stitches. This is 2 back post stitches together and 2 back post stitches increase, 2 in 1 stitch. And that's all we need right now. So let's go back to our chart, and our first move is to make that foundation. Again, we're reading this chart from the bottom up, just like how we work, and from right to left. We have 28 foundation cord stitches here, and at the end you see that arrow and the dot which represents slip stitch, and that slip stitch is made in first foundation cord stitch, so we join in round. And here you can see the foundation has been made and joined in round. So let's move to round 1. I will take it off. Round 1 starts with chain 2, which counts as half double crochet. After that, half double crochet made in every stitch of the foundation cord, and round ends finished with slip stitch in the second chain of beginning chain 2. That dot here that is placed right next to the second chain means that slip stitch is made in the second chain. And that's how you know that chain 2 counts as a stitch, because slip stitch is made in the second chain of that chain 2. So here round 1 is made, and I placed a marker between front and back to help me count stitches. Now let's move to round 2. Round 2 starts with chain 2 as well as round 1, but you can tell that this chain 2 does not count as a stitch because slip stitch will be at the end of the round, will be made in that first back post double crochet. It is placed next to that back post double crochet, not next to the second chain of chain 2, so it doesn't count as a stitch. And back post double crochet, first back post double crochet is made in chain 2 in the post of chain 2 from the previous round. And then we will make back post double crochet in each half double crochet from the previous round. So this is 28 back post stitches, and the first one is made in chain 2. And we finish with slip stitch in first back post stitch. Now we've made 2 rounds, and do not forget to move this marker up in every round to help you count stitches. So moving to round 3, which also starts with chain 2, which does not count as a stitch. That slip stitch at the end is made in first back post, and that first back post double crochet is made in 2 posts, beginning chain 2 and first back post from the previous round. Then we will make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back post stitches, 1 front post, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 back post stitches again up to the marker. This line, this gap here, it's where marker is. And then we will finish round 3 with 14 back post double crochet stitches and slip stitch in first back post double crochet. So let's take a look at round 3. 7 back post stitches, including the first one, front post, this one, 6 more back post stitches up to the marker, and 14 back post stitches at the back side, and slip stitch in first back post double crochet. Let's move to round 4. Again, start with chain 2, which does not count as a stitch. First back post double crochet is made in 2 posts. Then we make 3 back post, 8 double crochet cluster, 8 double crochet in 1 stitch together, 2 back post stitches, front post increase made in front stitch, 2 back post double crochet together, and 4 more back post stitches up to the marker here. And then for the back side, 14 back post double crochet and slip stitch in first back post stitch. Now let's take a quick look at finished round 4. 4 back post stitches at the beginning of the round, 8 double crochet cluster, 2 back post stitches, front post increase in front post stitch, 2 back post together, 4 back post stitches up to the marker, and for the back, 14 back post double crochet and slip stitch in first back post. So let's move to round 5. Again, starts with chain 2, which does not count as a stitch. First back post is made in 2 posts, chain 2 and first back post from the previous round. Back post, 2 back post double crochet together, decrease, front post stitch in the cluster, 2 back post stitches, then front post increase, another front post increase in both of those front post stitches, 2 back post double crochet together with the first leg made in 2 posts of that previous round decrease, and 3 more back post stitches up to the marker, up to the side, and for the back side, 14 back post double crochet, and we will finish this round with slip stitch in first back post double crochet. And one last thing I want to show you before we finish. We've been working on a chart that represents a pattern worked in rounds and only on the right side. but there are patterns and stitches worked in rows where you have to turn in every row, and this chart represents such stitch. So you start with foundation, and this foundation starts from the left to the right because this is wrong side row. Row 1 marked on the right side and read from right to left. From right to left, this is a right side row. Row 2, wrong side row. From left to right. 3, right side. From right to left. 4, wrong side to the right, and 5 again, right side, from right to left. So right side rows are shown and starts on the right side and read obviously from right to left, and wrong side rows and foundation are marked on the left side and read from left to right. And now let's take a look at the piece we've been working on at all 5 rounds we've made. And hopefully you can see now how this looks exactly like the chart here. All stitches, cluster, front post, this leaf here, everything looks like on the chart. And after that lesson, I hope you will be less scared of crochet charts, will start using them. And even if you still prefer written instructions, when you have a problem, when you don't know exactly why you have more or less stitches, where to make a certain stitch, you will be able to locate this place, this spot on the chart, and find an answer to your question. So thank you so much for watching, and good luck with your project.